All right, the Sort of Sports Podcast presents The Big Salad.
If it was a regular salad, I wouldn't have said anything. But you had to have the big salad!
Hosted by the one and only Quinn Maseko.
Thank you, George, and thank you, Ryan. Welcome back for another week and another edition of the Sort of Sports Big Salad Podcast. In today's episode, both the Mariners and the Phillies are in the MLB playoffs. Aaron Judge. We'll talk about him in a second because I shouldn't reveal the news yet. And Kenny Pickett comes in for the Steelers, officially full-time. But we begin today first with what's not on the list, and we're going to talk about Aaron Judge because tonight he broke Roger Maris's home run record. He's got 62 now. That's the number that matters here against the Texas Rangers. Ryan, reaction to that quickly.
Well, it's a big old deal for Judge. I think it's really exciting for him and just baseball in general. We've had like back-to-back years of big historic seasons. We had like first two-way guy since Babe Ruth, like super successful two-way guy, and Shohei Ohtani. And last year, then now we've got a guy not on steroids breaking 61. So that's exciting. And, I mean, regardless of the fact whether you're like, oh, why count Bonds? Well, regardless, the Judge thing is super impressive. So props to Judge. I really would like him to leave New York so I can like him, but I'm starting to get worried he's going to stick.
Well,
what a swan song, though, if he does leave.
Right, and the Yankees have the money to keep him because since he bet on himself for this season. Obviously, if you're an old-school baseball fan, you know the number is 61. It is not 73. It's not 70. It's not 66. You don't think about Bonds, Sosa, or McGuire on any of those numbers because of the steroids use.
So it's now Judge. It's 62.
So it should be Judge. It should be 62. That's how it should be the true number. It's historical. And this is in our What's the Word before this happened tonight. Obviously, that's going to be scrapped tonight because we're talking about it now. And, Roger Maris Jr. was there when he tied his father's record at that game for 61. Now that it's broken in 62, Aaron Judge, he's definitely going down in the history books, but we'll see if it can translate into Yankee success in the postseason after this because it hasn't happened.
That is a team built off home run hits. That's pretty much how they score every run,
yep.
And that will not work in the postseason.
In the last game, and they did not make the World Series in the last decade, in the 2010s, which is the first decade since the 1920s, I believe.
Yeah, I think they're a good team this year. I just don't think you put them in a 5-game series against the Rays. I definitely take the Rays.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting. The playoffs are going to be really competitive with that extra wild card this year. It's going to be longer. We'll see what happens.
Just like last year, it'll be fun.
Yep. So, all right. So anyway, to our real first headline with wins this past week in the NFL by the Dallas Cowboys, 25-10 over the Commanders. The New York Giants, 20-12 over the Bears, and the Philadelphia Eagles, 29-21 over the Jaguars. Is the NFC East the best division in the NFL currently, Ryan?
I would say no. A lot of these teams haven't played the best competition, I would say. Like, I'm a big Eagles backer, thoroughly on their hype train. But, let's look at who the Eagles have played. I mean, the Eagles have played, I'm trying to think who they played week 1. You're pulling it up for me? Because I'm like,
it's loading. It's taking
I'll just look it up. I just know they haven't played anybody too exciting. Real quick, let me pull it up so I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so the first week.
This is what's coming up.
I know. I'm waiting. Give me one moment.
They played Detroit, Minnesota,
yep,
and then Washington.
They played, Detroit, Minnesota, Washington. You're right. So I'm saying Washington, I don't think, is an exceptional team. The Vikings are competitive but not amazing. The Lions I really like, but I'm also saying that it's not like they're playing, the Chiefs. So I'm saying they haven't been playing the best teams.
There you go.
The Cowboys especially.
Well, I got the Giants here.
Here, I'll pull up Cowboys. So read me off.
Giants they beat the Titans, Panthers, lost to the Cowboys, beat the Bears.
Okay, so all three of those teams I would say aren't very good. I don't like the Titans, the Bears, or the Panthers. Well, I like the Panthers. I'm just disappointed in us. Offensive play calling's terrible. So then the Cowboys lose to the Bucs. Understandable. They beat the Bengals, which was impressive. Mm-hmm. Then they beat the Giants, which is what we just talked about, and then they beat the Commanders. So I guess the Cowboys, in my opinion, have the hardest schedule, and they are 3-1. So the reason I don't think it's the best division, though, Q, is I would definitely, to be honest, I like the AFC East better than them. I think it's a tougher division. I think the Jets are a competitive team. I think the Patriots, Bill, still one of the best, if not the best.
Even though they're 1-3.
Even though they're 1-3, look at the fight they put against.
Well, we're going to talk about that later.
Okay. Well, I'm saying, look at the fight they put up this last week. I don't know why I couldn't remember that they played the Packers. It took me a moment to remember. So they put up a big fight against them. The Bills are like a Super Bowl contender, and the Dolphins, if Tua's healthy, look like for a little bit like a Super Bowl contender also. So I'm saying I don't see anybody in this division going to the Super Bowl other than the Eagles. So that would be my thing.
Okay.
I don't think the Giants or the Cowboys are going, no matter how much you like Cooper Rush. And I like Cooper Rush a lot, but I'm saying. So that's my thing.
Well, I'm going to... Now, I think the key word here in my question I wrote for myself to answer is currently. Do I think they're the best division currently? Well, if we look at the records, Eagles are undefeated. Giants and Cowboys are 3-1. I think it's kind of hard to argue against that they're not the best division in football, because I don't see anybody else competing at that high level right now in the standings, or at least from my memory, to say it that way.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just saying, if you're going to go off the numbers, yeah. They've had the strongest
nobody
record.
In the AFC is matching that. The AFC East is the closest one. And the NFC, nobody else is matching that either.
And I'm saying, look at who those AFC East teams have played. They've played the Ravens. They've played the Packers.
Yes.
They're playing better teams.
Yes, but we already know. We already are giving the upper hand to the AFC, that they have better caliber teams anyway than the NFC. So
that's what I'm saying.
So
that's why I think AFC East is
already
better.
ingrained biased. So
also, I think the NFC West is still, really competitive also.
Well,
I don't like the Cardinals at all, but the Seahawks
They're all 2-2,
overperformed, and then the Rams aren't the best, but they're still
2-2.
pretty
It's
good,
not
and the
mine.
Niners played well. I think the NFC West, even though records don't show it, could give the NFC East a run for their money. I still think the best out of those teams is the Eagles, out of any of those 8. But then after that, the Cowboys, I think, match up pretty directly with the Niners, in my opinion. Look at them. They're kind of built similarly. Strong defenses with good receivers and good O-line. Honestly, your weakest position is QB, but I prefer Garoppolo over Rush. I'm kind of a big Grop guy. And so I'm saying the Niners make sense against the Cowboys. And then Giants versus Seahawks, I would definitely... Giants versus Seahawks. I'd probably go Giants versus Rams or Seahawks there.
Well, the problem is the NFC West are all 2-2, so there's nobody...
Yeah, I'm saying from a record perspective.
Right.
The NFC East is strongest, but I would say I would rather have the AFC East. I think there's an argument for the AFC or NFC West.
There you go. You heard it from Ryan. That's what it is. The NFC
but I'm a big
East
Eagles backer. I think the Eagles
but the NFC East is still the bottom of the barrel, which I...
It's not bottom of the barrel. I'm not saying that at all.
No. That's the stereotypical NFC East, right? It's the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, it's not the bottom of the barrel.
So it's going to be hard for them to shake that stereotype.
Yeah, the bottom of the barrel is the NFC South. You got the crap Panthers that can't do anything. You got the frisky Falcons who, they can get a little win here and there, They got a win this week. Back-to-back wins.
Technically, the AFC South is worse in record, but yes, NFC South is the worst in the NFC.
Well, I think the AFC South could be the worst division this year, honestly, because the Texans are crap, and then they're just Damon Pierce, the only reason to watch anything for the Texans.
And the Titans
are 2-2. The Colts really are the key there, because if the Colts play well, then they're better than the NFC South. But if the Colts play badly and it's just the Jaguars, then I would say the NFC South's better.
See?
So there you go.
There you go. All right, well, this weekend, droughts are over in the MLB. The Mariners have broken their 20-year drought, 21-year, to be correct, of the MLB playoffs. Last time they made the MLB playoffs, they tied for a season high 116 regular season wins, which is unheard of. And the Philadelphia Phillies broke their drought, which was 11 years. So, Ryan, which is the bigger deal of those two making the playoffs?
I would say the Mariners, just because to me they're a bigger threat. I think the AL's a little bit of the weirder league right now when it comes to the playoffs. I could see there's a possibility for a Guardians run. There's a possibility for a Mariners run. Obviously, the big favorite on paper, realistically, is the Astros. They're built exceptionally well. They're a really well-run ball club. I don't really like the Astros. Most people don't. But I do love Yordan Alvarez for them. He's great. They're DH. Genuinely one of the best hitters in baseball. If you watch him, he's a stud. He reminds me, and I'm not just saying this because he's a big DH, but he reminds me of the modern David Ortiz. He's a little more, on average, a little better statistically, but it's that same type of big boy DH who comes in and hits bombs. That's Jordan Alvarez. Kind of reminds me of Ortiz that way. But the NL to me is pretty cut and dry. I think it's the Mets or the Dodgers.
What about the Braves?
I think it's
Braves got
hard to
hot
go back to
again.
back. I mean,
I know, but the Braves are hot again.
they are, and they got hot right at the right time.
Uh-huh.
But when I do my MLB predictions pod within the next week,
Yes.
probably for the next time you and I
Well, the
do
season
one,
ends
Friday.
tomorrow.
Okay, I'll probably do it this weekend then. Probably come out
And the
Saturday or
wild
Sunday.
cards starts on Friday.
Oh, well, then I'll have to do it Thursday. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. You got a tight rope.
I'll
your
make
schedule.
it work. Regardless, I'll probably put the Mets out of the NL just because I feel like on paper they're the best team and they've been good all year. So it's like, you know. But I think the AL's a little more wild, whereas the Phillies, it's like, good job, boys, but you're going to get knocked
Right.
out first round.
Well,
Well, who they even play? Who are the Phillies going to play in the wild card? The Braves? Yeah, check for me, because I bet they play the Braves.
no, because
They're the weakest. So they play the division winner. They play the weakest division winner, so they're going to play NL Central. They'll play Cards.
they're gonna play.
They'll play the Cardinals.
But no, they're gonna play the 2 seed.
So they're going to play the Braves like I thought, because the Dodgers are the 1 seed.
It's not officially set. This is the problem.
Okay.
Because I don't think they've clinched, but I don't think they've officially set who's going to play what. Okay. So because they're just a game behind the Padres. So they could play either, as we go back, they're either going to play,
St. Louis or Atlanta?
yep, they're going to play the Cardinals or the Braves. And St. Louis is nothing to see. They're 92-68. Even though they're third place, the problem is they look bad is because Atlanta's got 100 wins and the Dodgers have 110.
I think St. Louis is good. My brain doesn't picture them coming out of the. Oh, they could play the Padres. Not Padres.
I'm sorry.
They couldn't play the Padres. They could play the Mets, couldn't they?
They're going to play, excuse me, I had that wrong.
Okay.
Okay. They're either going to play, they're either going to be last. So they're actually either going to play the Dodgers or the Braves / Mets. Whichever.
There's no bye for the wild card.
There's no bye because remember there are 3 wild card teams now.
Okay, yeah.
So everybody's playing. Everybody has to play a wild card game, I believe.
So yeah, then I'm definitely right about them not mattering.
Yes.
I mean, like, they're not going to beat the Dodgers in the wild
No.
card. If the Dodgers are losing, it's going to be probably in the pennant.
And let me just make sure. Let me just go right here. See, the NL wild card is not set except for the Cardinals because we're waiting on who's doing what.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's my answer. Is Mariners. I don't know what you're going to go with.
Well, hold it. This has only 2 wild cards playing. So, there are 4 teams.
Do you need to look up the rules real
There
quick?
are 4 teams playing. So, I guess, no, this is the thing. Ready? Got it. I got it. The top 2 still get a bye. The top 2 division leaders get a bye. The 3rd division winner is playing the bottom wild card. So, they're either going to play the Cardinals or the Mets / Braves. It's still gonna. It still doesn't
So it's
matter.
what I said
They're still playing
at the beginning,
same
yeah.
Because it doesn't even matter. If
It's
they
what we
all
thought
played-
originally.
Right. If
It's
they
what we
all
thought
played-
originally.
Yes. If they were all in for wild cards, yes. Whatever. Doesn't matter. That's
Okay,
how
so
gotta
it's
be.
what we thought originally.
Yes.
That's fine.
Okay.
Regardless,
so,
they're not going to be any of
anyway,
those teams. So good job, Phillies. I like Bryce Harper, but it's over.
Well, see, this is what I think is the bigger deal. Ready? I think
Yeah.
the bigger deal is the Phillies. It's not because of the record.
Okay.
Because I love Seattle, and I totally agree, and they should have been in last year, and what happened. But because Bryce Harper has not made it there since he signed that big deal. He's never made it to the playoffs with the Phillies. Remember, he left the Nationals because he said, I'm going to go win a World Series.
And
you
they
guys
won
can't
as
win
soon
one."
as he left.
And they won right after he left. So I think it's more on Bryce Harper to prove to make it a bigger deal for the Phillies to win and actually be advancing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I think the Mariners, I'm glad they're back in it because, I mean, they should have won the World Series. I mean, they got almost swept by the Yankees in the ALCS in 2001 when they were last in. But they should have won the World Series that year.
Ken Griffey, A-Rod, Randy Johnson. Who else is on
I
there?
don't know if even Ken Griffey was still
Ichiro. Yeah, that whole team was there.
Ichiro.
Griffey was there. I remember.
Okay.
I know.
Ichiro-
I'm a big Griffey guy. I knew it. Suzuki was
Ichiro-
there.
Ichiro was his rookie. He was rookie of the year that year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was Griffey. It was one of the last years Griffey was like killing it. before he started kind of winding down. So yeah, Griffey was still a stud. Ichiro was Rookie of the Year. A-Rod was really starting to rake, and Randy was doing Randy Johnson stuff. So
Yes, killing birds with baseballs.
that's not '01 though. I think that's '99.
Yeah, it's earlier.
That's earlier than
He's
that
in
because
the
2001
Diamondbacks.
he's
He's
on
in
the
the
Diamondbacks and they
Diamondbacks.
win. So that's the Game 7 walk-off. So that's not 2001. That's a different year.
Yeah, I know. I was just.
I had to
Like-
think about it.
What am I looking at? I'm looking at this roster here.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the roster.
Hey, my manager of the year predictions might be perfect. I picked Buck Showalter and the Mariners guy, whatever his name is, Scott Servais. So I might be spot on.
There you go.
Mariners and Mets, those might be the two managers of the year. Now, granted, my pick for the World Series is not going to be correct. White Sox over Mets is not going to happen. But if I would have bet on only the managers, I would have been doing really well.
Okay, hold it.
What are you doing?
King Griffey Jr. was not on this team like I thought. He's gone.
In what year?
2001. He's not on that team.
Oh, well, then neither is Randy. I'm thinking about the year earlier that they went far, the year that they won like
Yep,
the
they're
insane
not
amount of
there.
games. So that's not the year they won the insane amount of games in, is it?
It is the year they won the same amount of games.
Him and Randy weren't on that team?
Nope.
Oh, I guess I'm getting things confused.
So
You know, I watched that whole documentary on the Mariners, and I still mess it up.
Lou Piniella. That's not really. That's not how it should be pronounced. It should be Pinella. So I would pronounce it. Yep. Ichiro, Brett Boone, and David Bell were on there. David Bell, current Reds manager,
Interesting. All right.
not winning any games managing.
You saw
so-
La Russa step down, right?
I did. That was going to be one of my happy trails until we had something more egregious happen in life.
Gotcha. All right.
So anyway,
Griffey's with the Reds then.
Yep, he is with the Reds. He left the Mariners in '99. I knew he was with the Reds around that time.
So 98's the year that he's there, and he hits the thing in the DS to put them over the Yankees.
I knew he was with the Reds for 8 years, so it was close. But anyway, besides the point, let's go on. All right, this past weekend, Saturday, top 14 matchup between Kentucky and Ole Miss in college football. Ole Miss comes out on top, 22-19. On Sunday, Packers-Patriots end up going to overtime when the Patriots have to go to their third stringer, Bailey Zappi, who has the FBS record for most yards thrown in a season, over 6,000. I think it was close to 6,000 passing yards last year.
For what college?
For Eastern Kentucky, or Western Kentucky.
FCS, right? Or FBS?
I'm pretty sure it's FBS.
Wow, so they're in the bowls.
Pretty sure they were I think they were. I'm pretty sure they
Now,
were.
did you know Cooper Rush is from Central Michigan?
I did not know that where he was from. I knew it was a smaller.
No, I'm just saying that's pretty. You know, Central Michigan dude
Mac,
starting for the
baby.
Cowboys. Yeah,
Mac. That's where that's where Antonio Brown went.
yeah.
So, Western Kentucky. Just gonna correct myself there for Bailey Zappi. But which was the crazier game this weekend? There.
I'm gonna go Kentucky Old Miss because Kentucky was looking at maybe even like trying to make a run to be a top 4 team and go for the playoffs because it's probably going to be Georgia, Bama, Ohio State / Michigan. Whoever wins that game will take that spot. And then the 4th spot, they were hoping was going to be them. And then now if they lost this, they probably won't be in it. So that kind of sucks for them.
This is FBS. FBS is what?
Bowl
FBS is
series.
bowls,
Yes, that's the main boys.
Yep.
Nice.
They won the Boca Raton Bowl, I think.
Interesting. So, to me, that's a bigger deal because their quarterback, I know, is getting some chatter for maybe going to the NFL draft. This is looking like more of a quarterback draft because we're going to have Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, then I forget the guy from Kentucky, and I'm sure there's guys I'm not even thinking about.
Okay.
So,
I just want to let you know because I'm going to chime in rudely. But, he broke Joe Burrow's records that he set with the 60-6 season his senior year. So he threw more touchdowns, 62, and he threw 5,967 yards, which was more yards than Joe Burrow that year. Yep.
that's impressive.
So, actually, B.J. Simmons actually had that record.
Now, is Matt going to be back next week?
I don't know. It's it's a high ankle sprain. That's one of the worst injuries to have because it's
I know.
always week to week.
He still did a great gritty, though, the week before.
Yeah, he did. But no more gritty. I'm
I'm just kidding. It was funny.
Now, did you watch the Packers Patriots since it was national in the 4 o'clock window?
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched the Panthers game and
things
then
were
realized
crazy.
that I didn't want to have depression for the rest of my life, so I had to turn it off.
Yeah, they were national too.
The defense is so good for the Panthers, and then the offense is the worst in the league because of the play calling. I'm like, we have good players. We just do stupid stuff. I could coach them better. It's bad.
They're getting in their way. That's how they are.
So
That's how it
bad.
happens sometimes.
So bad.
So, Packers Patriots, Aaron Rodgers did not have a good game. He
No.
threw that oddly interception.
They
in the
deserved to
first
lose
half.
that game. They didn't
did.
play well.
And Belichick threw his headset, broke his headset, I
Yep.
think almost in the second because they were supposed to be running the clock and then they had to stop the clock.
Yep.
So then that happened, but the Patriots did what they've done the last few games. They've been able to run the ball consistently and dominate the line of scrimmage that way. So that's what kept them early in the game. They ate up a bunch of time to try and keep the ball away from Aaron Rodgers. The best defense was their offense there. But I think the crazier game this weekend was Kentucky-Ole Miss. I'm agreeing with you on that.
Nice.
Because Kentucky should have won this game. Their last 3 drives, they turned over on downs and field goal range. They fumbled both times. The last drive, I actually should have been listening to this on the radio because I was mowing on Saturday in the cold. And I didn't until I actually checked my phone. I said, oh no, it was less than 2 minutes ago, and they got the ball. It was tied. Ole Miss kicks the field goal, breaks the tie. So I listened to it the last end. Kentucky, Will Levis throws a big pass. They get it down to the 7.
That's his name, Levis. That's
Yes,
the
they
guy.
get down to the 7. Next play, they score on a touchdown. The problem, they were running so fast on the hurry up that they weren't fully set, so they got called for a illegal shift. They go back, they get the penalty for 5 yards, wipe the touchdown off the board. Next thing you know, fumble, Weiss scrambling, and there it goes, it's over. But yeah, because if they would have won out, they have two top matchups they would have had. They had Tennessee, pretty sure they have Tennessee this week. And they got Georgia. They beat those teams.
Now, if they beat Georgia.
If they beat Georgia, they're in the
They're back in. They're back in it.
Yeah, so they need to beat both Tennessee and them. They really need to stay undefeated until against Georgia.
Yeah, Tennessee's frisky, too.
Needed. So, yes, they're going to be good. Back with your use of frisky.
Yeah.
Like
Well, it's a fun one.
I know.
It's a fun one. Come on, it's
fun.
fun. Other thing with Kentucky, though, I have kind of enjoyed their surge to be more of a football school. I'm kind of enjoying this.
Mark Stoops in charge.
Yeah, I know. I've been saying I've never been a big Calipari guy. Not huge for them for basketball, but I enjoy their run.
Yes.
Like I like the way they play. They build their teams. I like how they've been building.
I mean, when you're part of that Stoops family, you should know something about football.
I agree. I'm saying I like them becoming kind of a. I want to see Kentucky become a bigger football powerhouse in the SEC.
They will, as long as Stoops is there.
It just continues to make the SEC look good. I mean, that's the truth.
It does.
I used to be one of those guys that's like, oh, well, the Big Ten's just as strong, da-da-da. And then that Burrow year comes along. I'm telling you, that was a life-changing experience, that Burrow year for me. I mean, I stopped liking Ohio State, and I officially accepted the fact that, SEC is the strongest brand of football. I mean, you're making a face, but it's true.
But it's always been true.
It's true. It's always been true.
It's always been the SEC.
It's naive to think not.
It's always been the SEC was the best football conference, and then it used to be the Big East. But now since the Big East has been demolished, it's now the Big Ten have always been the best basketball conferences.
And Big Ten, if you say on average for both, Big Ten's better because I'd say it's the second best basketball, whereas SEC for basketball is probably about third. I'd say Pac-12 is good.
SEC always used to be the bottom.
Yeah, I'm saying Pac-12 is pretty good for basketball anymore.
It's gotten better. It's supposed to be the Conference of Champions, but when your championships are only from one school, from it's
the Conference of UCLA, but they're about to bounce.
They're about just for just for football.
Oh, I forgot it was just for football. Hey, you know what's interesting though is about you and I talk about USC. They're still ranked 5th, aren't they?
I don't know what they ended up. They were 6th last week. They got a big win. I
think they're 5th now because I thought it was Michigan 4, them 5th.
Can USC sneak in? We talked about this last week. Are they going to sneak in?
Just because of Lincoln Riley?
Well, and Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I'm saying that it's part of everybody's like, oh, the AP poll, they've got certain teams they like better than others. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, but I always here's the thing. I think the CFP rankings are, in my terms,
better.
Bullshit.
Oh, better? You think they're worse?
I think they're worse. I like the AP poll better. The AP poll is the media. I don't know who's really in charge of these college football.
I think the CFP is ESPN.
The CFP, no. I think it's committee by the NCAA. And ESPN obviously has the contract to do whatever they want.
Yeah. Here's the top 25.
Yeah,
Since yours was taking a little moment to load, I was just pulling it up because it's faster on my computer because I've got the Ethernet cable plugged in. All right, Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, USC. So USC 6. Clemson's 5. Clemson does not look very good. I know some people think they do.
Yeah, but they got a win against a top 10 team last week, so.
I get it. I'm just saying I don't really think they're that good. They're going to lose a big game.
We should really be talking about the people at 19 and 20, which are Kansas and Kansas State. And what is going on there? I don't know. This is going to be a big game. They got TCU. It's 17 versus 19 here for Kansas. They got Iowa State. That's going to be a close game, too.
I would love to see Kansas make a big run. Here's the thing that's cool about Kentucky, though. It's things like that where Kentucky went on that big win streak last year, and then it ended up, they lost and it was over.
They were undefeated against Georgia.
Yeah. I'm saying with Kentucky, when this type of stuff goes on, when you just get some big wins, you start to get better recruits. So maybe in 3 to 4 years, we're looking at a Kentucky team that comes in ranked high. You get what I'm saying here? That's how that works in college football. You got to have a team that overperforms, so then you can start to get some big recruits, which then starts to build you a better team, which then makes you no longer just a little, underdog. You become a powerhouse. That's how Georgia built themselves up.
Right, and they benefit from the transfer portal, too, so they could get Will Levis from Penn State.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Left Happy Valley for the,
yes.
I don't even know what you call it.
Big Blue Nation.
The Big Blue Nation?
Yeah. Lexington. All right.
Hamden Concord.
It's time for What's the Word this week. We only have 2 now. Let's go. What's the first one over the loudspeaker? It was blank that the Baltimore Ravens blew another big lead this season.
Predictable. It feels like this always happens. And my dad goes on and on about Harbaugh and how stupid he is. And I was kind of like with him. But then I did watch something interesting The Ringer put out about, I think it was their Extra Point podcast. I can't remember exactly what it was. But he was basically saying, with Harbaugh, let's say, other situation, he kicks the field goal there. Bills go down, score a touchdown. No one bats an eye. And it's, all right, well, that's the normal thing to do. You kick the field goal, you move on. But Harbaugh is basically trying to play the numbers game, and he's saying, if I kick this field goal, they're probably going to go down and score a touchdown anyway. I might as well go for the win. He's trying to play, He's playing the odds.
Right.
Which I never, I'm saying never, but which I do kind of get, where his point is, if I kick the field goal, we lose anyway, so I might as well go for this touchdown and win us the game. So the thing that I think is interesting is, if Lamar gets that touchdown, we're now talking about how smart of a move that was, and how if he would have kicked a field goal, they would have lost. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I see both perspectives. The thing is with Harbaugh is like, we'll make people, ESPN will talk about, that was a dumb move, da-da-da-da-da. They're not going to get rid of him. He's won a Super Bowl with them.
They're not going to get rid of him now. They were going to get rid of him at one point.
Yeah, I'm saying he's got the Ravens in the last 10 years are one of the most successful NFL franchises. I mean, they've consistently been a playoff team. Like I'm saying,
yep.
They're consistently competitive. They've got an MVP caliber player in Lamar. They seem to be improving, even though the record doesn't show it. I think this is the best they've played with Lamar since 2019. This is the best he's looked and the team has looked since his MVP season.
Well,
I don't want to see it go to waste. They're 1-2, right? Are they 1-2? No, it's 2-2. 2-2. I had to think about it because it's week 5 now. Yep. They're 2-2. I still think that they can have a big year, but it just depends. Really, Lamar's going to be there. You just got to get the rest of the team worked out. So I don't think it's that big of a deal at the moment. Now, this is the playoffs. We're in a whole different conversation. But
playoffs? What do you mean playoffs?
I'm saying if down the road in the playoffs, when they're going to make the playoffs, Q, the AFC North isn't looking competitive at the moment.
It's mediocre, again, like last year. Let's remember this. I don't even know how the Bengals made it to the Super Bowl. Just because of Evan McPherson.
I think Joe Burrow played a big part. What are you writing down?
I got to write things for future reference. So.
Okay. What do you got to say? What's the word?
Well, my word is habitual, because this is why.
Why would you call him that?
Well, no,
I'm kidding.
Here's the habit. Ready? Harbaugh, I think he over-relies on the analytics. I'm not an analytics guy. This is just my point. So, again, he relied on the analytics. He could have taken the field goal.
Yep.
All right, yes, they could have. They could have went down and scored a touchdown. This is a possibility. But wouldn't he have faith in his defense to stop them and hold them to a field goal to give them to overtime?
I'm not arguing with you, Q.
That's what I'm going to argue. He is some of the best.
You've seen me play Madden, though. I go for the touchdown.
I hear you.
But I'm also 1-1 for a reason and not 2-0.
Yeah, well, I'm also 1-1 for a reason. That's called turnovers, so that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, we have different coaching staff.
But anyway, well, I still got to figure out which buttons are which, because I'm used to Xbox and not used to PlayStation. So when I get that down, give me another game, and I will hopefully have it down. But anyway, I think Harbaugh needs to just go with his gut instead of trusting the numbers all the time. He's the one that started the analytics, had a full-time analytics person on their staff, and the NFL, it's time for that to end.
Well, I don't know about that as much as when it's game-winning time, you might want to stick to your gut. It reminds me almost...
And you have the best...
Blake Snell in the World Series when they pulled him because the analytics. Sometimes you got to go with the gut call.
And the best They had the best kicker in NFL history. I mean, I understand it was a chip shot, but I'm just saying.
That's a good point, too.
I'm just saying. So.
That's a good point.
All right. Next. Last one. Steeler fans need to blank with Mike Tomlin's announcement about Kenny Pickett becoming the starting quarterback.
I think be excited. This is what you all asked for, and I don't want it to be like, well, you asked for it, so you can't complain. It's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying, now's the time to see if he's the guy, and if he's not, get real panicked and find somebody new. Because the nice thing is, he wasn't your... the nice thing is, you have got him. He was your first-round pick, but it's not like you're out of options. You're the Steelers. You have an owner that is willing to spend money to win. They're always trying to win. Quinn, they've handed out some big contracts.
This is the most they spent in free agent history ever since free agency started in the 90s.
I'm saying extension-wise. But yes, you're right. You're right. I get what you're saying. It's not like they're going to go out and sign a big free agent.
They build through the draft.
Yeah. This is the guy they want. A lot of people wanted to have.
They want the Dan Marino story for Kenny Pickett.
Yeah. And if it doesn't work out, I think because you're the Steelers, you will probably be able to figure something out because the Rooneys are always trying to win. It's not like they're okay with just sucking for a couple years. Yep. Same thing with Tomlin. So I think you should be excited, and he's probably going to look rough at the start, but I think it will come into its own. And if it doesn't, I'm sure within a year they're going to be figuring something out.
My word, hyphenated here, is stop complaining because they got what they wanted. Because what did they want? They wanted Kenny Pickett. They said it when we were in Pittsburgh. They said it last Sunday in the first half. And what did they get? They finally got him in the second half. Obviously, he's not going to be the sharpest knife yet because he was in his first game, but we'll see what happens. Let's remember, Ben came in his rookie year. This is the second game of the season after injuries. Lost because it finished out that game and ended up in a loss. They ran off 14 straight. Went 15-1 that year.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to happen here. I'm just saying that supposedly all the players say it looks more comfortable. They're more confident when Kenny Pickett is the quarterback, and it looks like he's more willing to throw the ball down the field. So we'll see what happens.
He's going to lose you some games, but he probably will also win you some games.
They got a tough sled here. They got Bills, Bucks, Finns.
Yeah, this poor kid, he starts starting, and then it's Bills, Buccaneers, Dolphins. Three of the top 10 best teams.
Yes, all right. So it's going to be a tough sled there. But we'll see what happens.
I'm really worried about Tua, by the way. That was really... I'm very concerned.
I think he... I don't see him... he's not playing this week.
I'm really kind of worried about him. I thought he was looking really good for once, and I was like, come on, Tua.
I forgot, they have the Eagles also before the bye. This is a tough sled. Tough sled. See, if they would have been 3-1 like they should be in the first 4 games...
Maybe they should have started picking out of the gate.
Okay, well... But that wasn't their choice.
He did have 2 rushing touchdowns, didn't he?
He did. First rookie to do that in their first ever
game
appearance. So there you go. All right, Ryan, special section. What do you got here, Ryan?
This one is like barely any research. I thought we'd just do something quite fun because we were doing more focused things. Where we did
some fun things last week because I just finished our podcast. Listened today on my walk, so we did the fun with the overreaction, no reaction.
Yeah. So, there you go. So it was a little more like that. This is completely off the cuff. There was 2 things I was tossing around. I couldn't decide really between which one. Both are more movie based, but I think we're gonna go with this one, which is I was thinking about one of my favorite movies.
Back to the Future.
It was not Back to the Future.
Okay.
This movie came out in 86, not 85. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, one of my favorite movies.
Second guess.
How'd you know it would be one of the, like...
Because those are your favorite, I know.
They're both... I don't know.
I know.
Neither of them are top 5. Yeah, I remember that when he's the guy that's in jail.
Now it's Matthew Broderick's breaking the film.
Yeah. And then he goes on to be in Lion King. But not sing the songs. Very crucially. He doesn't sing Twist and Shout. I hope you guys realize that. And Ferris Bueller. You've seen that movie, right?
Not all the way.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, what's funny about Ferris Bueller and Back to the Future is they're 2 movies mentioned a lot, but neither of them are in my top 5 favorites. They're probably in the 7 to 8 range.
Okay.
Or they're in that Moneyball. Moneyball's probably 6-ish.
They're in that meaty part of the.
They're in the meat potatoes. Mm-hmm. But realistically, if I told you my top 10 favorite movies, it could all.
It could range.
It can all flip around spots because they're all about in the same area. Yep. It's like there's a tier essentially.
Yes, exactly. It's more of that.
It's more of that. Okay, so what I thought would be fun is I myself thought before I'm going out and having a big day like Ferris would be quite fun. So I was thinking about movie characters that you think you could take the position of. Like for example, let's say you believe one of your favorite movies is Silence of the Lambs. Do you think you could take a position in this? You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? You think you could take a position as a detective in Silence of the Lambs? And would you want to?
See, that's tough because I think I would want to play either. I think I'd want to play both for a day. You know, I'd want to be Clarice Starling for a day.
Okay.
And then be Dr. Lecter for a day because that's
The
tough.
serial killer? You want to kill somebody?
But this is one of the top 5
I'm messing with
cinematic
you.
duos. That's the problem. It's the top 5 cinematic duos of hero and villains.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat it. That's the thing.
Well, I'm just thinking of like random movies that, I was thinking about occupation thing you could do. Here's one I got for you. You ready? Mm-hmm. Do you think in the film The Batman that you and I both really like, could you be Commissioner Gordon with Batman and go through all that stuff? Or are you like, nah, it's too much?
I can only be in that for that movie.
I mean, you're that. I don't know. I don't know how the rules work, but like,
Well,
let's say
it's your game. You're gonna
it's
make
my
the
game
rules.
for the duration of that movie. But of course, you don't know what's going to happen.
Be that character for the day.
Yeah, for
That's
the
hard.
movie.
Cause see, that's not my. He's my second Gordon.
He's my favorite.
He's the second.
I don't think I could do it. I don't have the balls. I definitely. I think I could be if I get all his gadgets and everything. I think I could maybe handle being Batman. I can tell you that.
Okay.
But I don't think I'd be able to figure out the riddles as well as he does. So maybe
Well,
I shouldn't do it. That's probably a dangerous idea.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna go back for Silence of the Lambs. If we minus the cannibal part, I would definitely be Hannibal Lecter. Just
All right.
want to say that
All right.
of the intellect.
Yeah.
Out of the Batman, I don't know if I can really say anything about the Batman, but
I've got more fun ones already. If you want to.
okay,
do
give
more
me some fun ones. Give me some.
All right, you and I are both huge fans of Grease. Who would you want to be in Grease? Out of any character, what role?
Oh, I should be the nurse, Fanny Flagg. But
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. Not old Fanny.
Are you more Kaneki? You going Danny Zuko? What are you doing?
It's tough because I'm not a greaser,
Yeah.
so it's hard to see myself being in one of those roles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it probably would be Danny Zuko because he did at least come a little athlete. I mean, I'm going to say athletics was my whole thing, my whole life in high school. I'm just saying that's a tough one.
So you don't even know who you'd be in Grease.
Yeah,
Could you be Kevin Bacon in Footloose?
I don't like Footloose. I don't.
Really? What about Dirty Dancing?
Haven't seen it.
Neither have I.
I've seen the only Patrick Swayze film I've seen is Ghost. Have you seen Ghost?
I'm not gonna watch Ghost. I know
What?
what Ghost is about. No,
Come on!
no, I'm not
Demi
watching Ghost.
Moore.
No.
It's not a Demi Tracker trailer, but it's a Demi Moore.
She is quite fine in the 90s, but I'm probably not watching it.
You don't like Whoopi Goldberg either?
It's not that I don't like him.
You don't like that movie?
It's the movie where he has sex with a ghost.
Okay, I'm just saying I think
It's like the
it's
episode
a
of
cult
Seinfeld.
classic.
I'm not an orgy guy when he says that in
I know.
Seinfeld. I'm not a sex with ghost guy either.
Okay, well, I didn't say that I was doing that. I'm just saying that. I just said that was the only film
All right,
Patrick Swayze.
got another one for you.
Okay. E.T.
I wasn't gonna say E.T., but it's
Okay.
funny now that you said that. If you were in E.T., who'd you want to be?
E.T.
So Grease,
Would
you
you
don't
want to be E.T. and E.T.? Come on.
No, I'd be the kid. I wouldn't want to be E.T. because
Why?
then I don't even know anything. I got my own little race going back to me. I got to go back to my race. Like, it's a whole mess. I'm the problem in that. I don't want to be the problem.
I'm the problem.
Here's one.
Okay.
Now this one's a little different.
Okay.
One of my favorite films, Shawshank Redemption. Okay.
You're not gonna like it when I say I have not seen that either yet.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what goes on.
I do know what goes on. No, this is hands down easy. I want to be Morgan Freeman's character. Done.
You want to be him?
Why
Now, do you
would
think you
not?
could survive in the prison? Just period. Like, you're getting tossed in there. You think you can survive? You think you can make it out? 10-year sentence in that prison.
Could I make it out
Yeah.
in the Mansfield Reformatory?
Yeah.
I could make it out.
Even with all the crap that goes on? I mean, they're beating
I don't know what's
dudes.
going on, but yeah, I guess I can
All
take
right.
the stereotypical prison.
All right.
I guess I could try to survive.
Okay. Interesting.
I could try. So anyway, fun fact: we like to do this because we've talked about this before in a previous episode. Somebody from Cardington was in that movie, so there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think it's the scene they're outside working on.
Yes, they are outside. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, besides the point of that,
All right, I got another one.
Okay, go.
One of my other favorite films, This one's from '84. Karate Kid.
I knew you were going to mention this.
You want to be part of Cobra Kai, or are you going to be part of Miyagi? What are you going to do? You more of a Miyagi-Do type of guy, or you going Cobra Kai? You've seen Karate Kid, correct?
I have seen Karate Kid.
Okay.
I've seen the remake, which was not good.
Okay.
So am I going to be Ralph Macchio?
Well, you don't. I'm saying you don't have to be him exactly, but I'm saying if you're getting
Ralph
plopped into the
Macchio.
California, you're getting plopped into
I've
80s
seen
California.
I've seen this movie once. Is Ralph Macchio still part of Cobra Kai in that thing?
No, Cobra Kai
That's
is
what I thought. It's
Johnny
the rival.
Lawrence and all his goons. They ride the motorcycles.
Yep.
And
okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Danielson.
I want to be part of
Yeah.
Miyagi.
You want to be part of Miyagi.
Yeah.
You don't want to be part of the cool kids.
Yeah, but isn't Mr. Miyagi?
Listen, I've got the Cobra Kai look. I got the blonde hair. I think I can pull off douchebag if I really try.
But
I think I can do Cobra Kai.
Isn't Miyagi supposed to be? It's full of wisdom.
Oh yeah.
It's supposed to be.
No, they're the good guys.
Yeah, they're the good guys.
Yeah, they're the good guys. I'm just saying, I fit the bill for Cobra Kai. I'm
I
tall. The only problem is I'm not very athletic. Or strong. Or mean.
Well,
but
then-
I can act like a prick. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to be the guy in the back going like,
All right.
you know? I could be part
That's
of
why
Cobra Kai.
I got one for you here
All
because
right.
we're both big fans of this. What would you be first
Okay.
in the big three, as in the three main characters, and then we're going to go professors after this.
Okay.
Harry Potter. Which one?
I feel like I'm probably... Okay, well, this is an interesting internal conflict here. Let me ask you, you're a good friend of mine. Do you think I'm more Harry or Ron? What do you think?
My first thought, Ron.
Okay, that's what my first thought is, too.
Okay.
But I don't think... I
tell
feel
you
like
this.
I'm a little more brave than he is. I feel like I would balls up and be like, you know
Are you scared of
what?
spiders?
What?
Are you scared of spiders?
No.
Okay.
Not
well,
it's
there
like
you
not
go.
really that bad.
See, that's safe. I mean, if you were confronted by Aragog, you'd be okay. That's a giant spider.
Listen, I've seen Spider-Man so many times. I think I'll be fine. I'm like, you know what? Give me that bite. Maybe I'm gonna start shooting webs.
Oh, yes.
Call me Brian Burns. I mean, maybe I can do
See,
it.
this is where I'm going to throw out, obviously I mentioned Clarice already. I'm throwing gender, sex, all out the window here.
You're more Hermione.
I'd be Hermione.
Yeah, I had a big crush on her, so now you're just really freaking me out.
You're big on Emma Watson? Look at
When
you.
I was younger, okay? When I started watching movies when I was
Yeah,
8,
I was young.
that was like the best looking girl I'd seen in a while. So when you're 8 years old, you're not getting a lot of smoke shows on Nick Jr., all right? So when I started watching Harry Potter, I was
you had
like...
iCarly. You know that.
I didn't even watch iCarly that much.
what are you
It was
doing?
like Good Luck Charlie, and I'm not into
Okay.
Teddy Duncan. So I was like, you know what?
Okay,
that was
wait.
like when I was younger.
Number
That was
one,
the girl for me. Was
That
Hermione.
was Disney Junior, so you don't even know what channel you're on.
Well, no, I'm flipping around channels. I
I
know
know.
what the difference is.
Okay.
Nickelodeon's like iCarly and Zoe 101 and all that.
Well, Nick Jr. was actually what
Victorious.
Noggin was before.
Yeah,
'cause
Nick
Noggin
Jr.
was
is
the
like
bomb.
yeah.
So, by the way, they're bringing Bear in the Big Blue House to Disney Plus. If
Really?
you watch that, I
Interesting.
love that.
Out of the professors, you would be McGonagall, dude. I'm just telling you right now.
Okay, well first,
Am I wrong? You wear green a lot
McGonagall?
too. The Masego lawn care merchandise is all green.
I really want to be Dumbledore.
Yeah, but you're McGonagall. I mean, you can be Dumbledore if you want. I'm just telling you right now, that's who you are. Can't lie to you. Very similar, dude.
See, I can pull off McGonagall.
That's like
I
McGonagall's
can.
sweet too. She's cool.
Yes, and it's played by the Dame Maggie Smith.
And she's
come
great.
on.
She's great.
So what are you? Are you Hagrid?
No, my buddy Silas is Hagrid.
So what are you then?
I don't know. I think I could pull
Madam
off.
Sprout?
I think I can be a great Filch. I can be pissy. Just be the pissed off janitor guy. I can be Filch. I can do it.
You want to be Filch. That's what you think you're inner. You gave me McGonagall.
I don't think I'm Filch. I'm just saying I could do
You
it.
could do Filch. Okay.
I would be a lot
Are
more
you
talkative
Flitwick?
though. I'd be
Are
like,
you Flitwick?
I'd be like, hey guys, you seen this crazy stuff going down in the Chamber of Secrets? You got to see. This is wild. Filch is a little more secretive than me.
You can't be Snape.
No. No, I can't be Snape. See, I don't think there's a good fit for me.
See, that's why I think you're Hagrid, because you're compassionate.
Oh, thank you.
You can be a refuge for your friends.
Yeah.
See, already signed up to be Hagrid.
Yeah, I think I would have to put on a good 400 pounds.
Oh,
to
I
be
didn't
a
ask
giant.
you to be his genetics.
True. It's
And
just-
obviously
yeah.
he was 8 feet tall at least, so there's no way that was true. I mean, they had to have lifts there.
Yeah, he was huge.
was
He's a big dude. That was an interesting. Yeah, Harry Potter's a good one to pull from. I just thought of something else we could have.
Okay.
done, and then it slipped my mind. So now I'm very disappointed in myself.
As if for a special section?
No. It was like another movie
Okay.
that we could pull from.
You got one more. Do it.
Well, I wanted you. Do you have one anymore? Because I had one in my head, and then I just.
And it's gone?
Now it's gone.
Oh, it's gone. Oh, I didn't know it was already gone already.
Yeah, it is gone. So now I'm disappointed in myself.
I mean, what about?
Oh, I know what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Okay. Now you know a movie I really like. Have you ever watched Die Hard?
What?
You've never watched Die Hard. Gosh,
I'm not
you're missing
watching
out,
Die
dude.
I won't be watching.
What about
Die Hard
Terminator?
anytime soon. I'm not watching Terminator.
Oh my gosh, we've got a literal Terminator poster that we
I
look at
know,
every time we record the
But
pod.
I'm not an Arnold Schwarzenegger fan.
Nah, I enjoy it.
Except, well,
Point is,
wrong. I do like him in Kindergarten Cop.
there we go.
See, I get him.
Schwarzenegger's a fun
It's
actor
kinda
to
like
follow
Tom
his
Cruise.
movies.
It's like when I just like Tom Cruise in The Firm. I don't like Tom Cruise anywhere else, but in The Firm, he gets a check.
Okay, wait. Now this is the more fun one. Let's do this. I'm gonna pull up. This is what we'll do for the last one.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull up an
I
actor.
got one more too, but you go.
Okay, No, we'll do this in the future. Next time we do this, we'll pull up an actor, and we got to pick one of his movies. You get to
Okay,
be.
and then you can get a list of actors and actresses.
Yeah,
to
we'll do a random.
Okay.
And then maybe we'll do it that time. You don't live that character's role. You get to act as that person. You think
Okay.
it'd be fun to act as, or we'll
Okay.
do it. You get to live that.
All right, I'm
because if
already
it's
done.
acting, I think it'd be
I'm
fun.
already signed. I'm done.
What?
I already got mine.
For what? For DiCaprio?
Already. Hugh Jackman
Oh.
is one of them.
Yo, you're. No.
Again,
So the way you do is this.
talk about it
No.
later.
We pull up his
You
filmography,
Yeah, and I gotta pick a role.
and you get to pick which one you want to play, and then
That's
which one you want to
done.
be for a day.
That's already done.
Who do you want to be?
I'd want to play in real life forever. This is the first one, and I get to play for a
Like
day.
you play it in the movie.
Okay.
In the movie, who do you want to be? Like
I'm playing Jean Valjean. I mean, why would I not? Be?
Okay, yeah, you're a big Les
I mean,
Mis
come
guy.
on.
You're big. Yeah.
I mean, even though P.T. Barnum
Who'd you
is
wanna be?
great. Out of him?
Yeah.
Out of his roles?
Yeah, like for a day, who do you want to be
For a day? Oh, Wolverine. Duh.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I mean, wouldn't that be it?
You know, you still feel pain though when you're invincible, right?
Well, yeah, that's how it works.
Sheesh, it's just a lot.
But anyway, real quick, last one. Toy Story. Who are you? Are you Buzz? Are you Woody or Buzz?
Might have to be one of the two. I don't even know. I feel like I'm a little too confident to be Woody, but I feel like Buzz overlooks a lot of things. So
You could be Bullseye. you could
Maybe
be
it-
Rex. Why
yeah,
can't
I'm
you be
Rex.
Rex? Or
I always made
Slinky?
the joke I was gonna
No,
name my.
Mr. Potato Head.
I like
Mr.
him.
Potato.
I'll be Mr. Potato. I always make the joke that my son's gonna be named Rex Klinger, so keep Ryan's
Well-
son Rex.
Well, if you're Mr. Potato Head, Estelle Harris,
Yeah.
she was the voice for Mrs. Potato
Yeah,
Head. So there you are.
there you go.
I'm a Woody guy.
Yeah, that's definitely
me.
you.
This
Yeah,
is
that's
definitely Woody's Roundup.
My point with Die Hard was I was going to ask you if you think you could, if
I could be
last
Bruce
one,
Willis for the day?
Christmas party. You and your future wife are at a big Christmas
We're
party.
not watching Die Hard.
No. Well, no. Explain. I'm like, let me more. You're at a big Christmas party. You go to use the bathroom after having an argument with your spouse.
Okay.
Okay? And all of a sudden these terrorists break in, right? Are you ballsing up and you're going to take them down one man against all them? Or are you done?
Well, I think it's unrealistic, number one. And number two, well, what kind of weapons of war do they have? Nuclear weapons? Chemical weapons?
They've got, the only things they have on them are bombs and like assault rifles.
Well, if you're within 21 feet and you have a knife, you can win with a knife.
All you have is your wits
And that's
and a pistol. Like a gun.
okay. Well, that's not going to help me at all.
Like a handgun.
I think I'm dead if I don't run.
So I would use all my skills because I've actually watched the movie. And I'm taking my best shot.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, I think I could do it. John
Okay.
McClane.
I'm not gonna say you can't. I'm not denying it.
That's gonna be
So-
like I'm gonna throw this great big Christmas party one time, and it's gonna be mock Die Hard. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have all my friends. I'm gonna give them all Nerf guns, and then I'm gonna take my own Nerf gun, and they're the terrorists, quasi. And then that's what I'll do for my 30th birthday. That's what I'll do.
That's what you're gonna do for your 30th birthday.
I'm completely kidding, but
Well, it's a plan.
it's kind of fun.
It is a plan. So.
Yeah, but I feel like so eventually someone gets tired of it and is just like, yeah, we're just gonna hunt them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I
well, there's
hear
no
ya.
real stakes, so you can kind of break it.
Here, I know. No.
Did you enjoy that? I just thought it'd be fun.
I thought it was good. I
Just
thought
kind
it
of
was
banter
good.
a little
Now, Your
bit.
next one, the next one you pull up. You
Some
choose
point
the
we'll
list
do
of
that.
actors.
Some point we'll do
You
that.
choose a list of actors and actresses, and you
Yeah, we'll just
do
pick
it.
some random
Okay.
ones and go through.
There you
Sounds
go.
good.
Okay. All right. On to Quinn's questions. Today's category: a pro team in that sport. All right. You're naming the sport. All right.
Okay, so give me an example, so I know what I'm doing.
So, an example: Pittsburgh Steelers.
Football. Yeah,
Yes,
gotcha.
that's
Okay,
it.
gotcha.
Got
All right,
it?
I'm ready.
Okay,
I'm ready.
here we go.
Here we go.
Get away from that.
David, start us off.
Pro team in that sport, 600.
The Montreal Alouettes.
Oh, crap. Soccer. Major League Soccer.
Remember your phrasing.
What is Major League Soccer?
Chris,
What is Canadian football?
yes, the CFL.
Crap.
Canadian football, yeah.
I wasn't going to know that.
That was my guess immediately because I thought, I don't even know what's going
Yeah, I don't know Alouettes.
I thought,
is.
well, it's got to be that. It's got to be Canadian football. Okay.
Well, good for you for getting that one
I was
right.
got that. Yes. I'm pretty sure I
Sheesh.
ran this category, I'm pretty sure.
Well, congratulations.
So,
1,000.
The Seattle Kraken.
Hockey. What is hockey?
David,
What is professional hockey?
that's it.
Pro team, 800.
The Chicago Sky.
What is women's basketball? Professional women's basketball.
Chris,
What is the WNBA? Women's basketball?
basketball's the sport, yes.
basketball is the sport. Yes.
Sweet.
Okay.
So I was
you were
down
down 600. You've added 1,000. Makes you 4. Added 8. That gives you 12. All right.
Okay.
As I zoom, because these were not, nobody ran the category this way. That's why it's hard to run the
The
category.
nice thing about me being on Jeopardy is they curate the categories for me personally, so it's something I know, which is really nice.
Well,
I really like that.
because
really like that.
because I filter out of the, there are 10 categories, there are 12 categories a day plus a final.
I know. I'm
So,
saying you get like a week's worth of
60
stuff
categories.
to pick from.
Yeah, you get 60
I appreciate the
categories.
fact that it's curated for me. I mean,
So,
Jeopardy's a lot easier when it's curated for you.
Well, yeah, exactly. All right.
Chris,
Who is Lestat?
that's correct. 1,000 more for you.
Pro team, 400.
The Mumbai Indians.
I'm going to go with what is basketball, just because internationally I know basketball's still pretty big.
Yeah, but basketball's already used once, so
All right.
David,
What is cricket?
yes, with less.
Good for him, knowing
Yes.
that. Oh,
yes.
Right.
Think about
cricket is big in other countries.
yes, and that's exactly
It's not as good as pickleball.
Well, because Mumbai, which is the modern name for Bombay in India, that's
thought
why I
it was
put
in
it
India, yeah.
together. British colony. That's why I went for cricket as well.
Wow, you're
Yes.
you're impressive, because I
I'm
had
impressive.
no clue.
Well, I mean,
I would've guessed
This is
pickleball
one of those
before that, 'cause I
categories
love
that I know.
pickleball.
I try to run at least one category a night, but it's difficult. It's hard because the things you think you know, you don't. This is what happened on Friday. They had a category. They had a history category. Now, obviously, history is wide-ranging. It's my degree, but I specialize in modern global. So that's post-1750.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, then they're asking ancient history. That's not my strong suit. But then they had a category for just called material. And I ran that category
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I was great in chemistry in
Yeah.
high school. So that's all it goes from there. That's how it works. And the last one here.
Team, 200.
The Yomiuri Giants.
Giants?
Think about the nationality of the location.
Yomiuri? Is that Canada still? I don't know where
I can't
Yomiuri
help
is.
you there.
Ah, crap. What's another big sport? You know what? Maybe it's team tennis. What is tennis?
Chris,
What is baseball?
that's right. And the last clue is
Holy crap.
Think about baseball in Asia. It's big. I think it's Japan.
I didn't know where Yomiuri was. If I would have known it was in
Yes.
Japan, I would have guessed baseball, because baseball's big in
That's
South
really-
Korea and Japan.
See, and that's really more of a geography question than it is a sport question. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because you got to know where the place is
Yep.
in order to formulate what kind of sports there are. So let's think about this. We'll go down. I'll go from down. So you went negative 200, negative 600,
Yep.
negative 1200. Then you got the 10 and the 8. So that means you got 600.
I got the big boys, yeah.
Okay. So this is why you start writing this down too. All right. So
You
you
can keep
got-
the paper in the desk if you want.
I am going to do that. So this is what we got. We got 1,000, 200, and a 600. And let's not remember, I'm not going to levy you down this bet. The total divided by 100 is the amount of money you're putting on the Super Bowl. So you're at $28 right now. So you better start saving. Better get a couple races in for the Super Bowl.
I gotta start guessing worse.
I know, that's what you said last week. So I'm just saying, there it is. Well, was glad. What?
I was
Read
making
my
sure the pen.
handwriting?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, you probably shouldn't read my handwriting anyway because it's bad. But anyway, well, another fun little category. I'll find another one for next week. We'll see what happens.
Excellent.
What we got this week. Last night, no good categories because I struggled. It was not good. So, anyway, happy time, people. Happy 66th birthday last Thursday, Sebastian Coe. Sebastian Coe, one of the world-renowned British Olympian runners from the 1980s. He was a gold medalist in the 1,500-meter run in the 1980-1984 Olympics and a silver medalist in the 800-meter run for the 1980-1984 Olympics. Set 9 outdoor and 3 indoor world records in track. 3 of those came within 41 days in 1979. His record for the 800-meter run outdoor was set in 1981 and was not broken again until 1997 by a fellow British runner, I believe. He managed the Summer Olympics in London in 2012 and now sits in the House of Lords, which is basically the British celebrities that are kind of political. They don't vote on anything in British Parliament currently. So a little history lesson there for you kids.
Now, once again, you brought up somebody I had literally no clue exists, but he sounds pretty cool. So
yes, I like that's my history degree at work. Happy anniversary last Friday to both George Brett and Roberto Clemente. Fortunately, on the same day, 20 years apart, George Brett and Roberto Clemente hit the milestone of 3,000 career hits.
Wow.
George Brett, 30 years ago, in 1992, had 4 hits against the California Angels. They were called then, and his milestone hit came in the 7th inning. What happened during that is that he was actually talking to the first baseman there in that game, and ended up getting picked off because he was too busy talking about how much family and friends he had in the stands instead of paying attention to the game. So there he goes. And Roberto Clemente hit his milestone hit with a double in his last game of the season and his last game of his career. After the season, Roberto Clemente died in a plane accident when he was going down to help out earthquake victims in Nicaragua. So, sad ending there for Clemente, but now he's remembered. Obviously, we actually debated this, or talked about this already, about
I love Roberto
retiring
Clemente,
his number league-wide in the major leagues. So maybe that'll happen soon. Roberto Clemente Day always happens in September.
Yeah. I don't know what the parameters were, but for some reason, in like the 7th grade, we had to do a project over someone important. And I don't know if it was like I don't think he has the same birthday as me. Maybe he does. Let me look this up. When's his birthday?
August 18th.
Yeah, so it's not the same day.
Before a week,
Yeah,
8 days.
it's like, so it's not the same as me. I think it was something like, it was like on the day I was born, and it was something like Roberto Clemente had like a milestone of his career. And so I did my entire project on him because I was like, oh, I've heard of this guy before. And then I kind of became a big fan of him while doing the project.
There you go.
And I love those old Pittsburgh Pirates uniforms. So when they brought the yellow with the little like pillbox hat, it was great.
Yes.
So one of my favorite players, really got a attachment to him. Him and Jackie are actually like 2 of my favorite players ever. So mostly because I think people really underrate Jackie because everybody just thinks it's a civil rights thing. I'm like, it is. The biggest thing is a civil rights thing, but we shouldn't underrate the fact that he was also a really talented baseball player.
Yes.
You can be both. He's not just a symbol. He's not just a player. He's both. So
Right.
people got to be aware that Jackie's a stud.
And I do want to correct because I made an error last week. I said Roberto Clemente was from the Dominican Republic. He's from Puerto Rico, so I excuse that fault for there. I knew he was from the Caribbean. I just did not have that correct country, so I should know that. Anyway, happy trails, not so happy trails to Paul Christ, who was fired from coaching collegiate football at Wisconsin over this past weekend, which makes no sense here because he had a record that was 67-26 and 4 bowl wins. He had 4 seasons of 10-plus wins. Ryan, aren't the Badgers crazy for firing him already this season?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by this. I think it's weird. Unless they got somebody real hot and heavy coming in, I don't understand what the move is.
Well, Jim Leonard, who's a DC, former Badger, actually former safety for the Ravens, is now elevated to be the head coach, so I guess he's probably going to become it. He's going to take it over at some point, is what I'm going to assume.
I guess. Hopefully he does well, but
So-
yeah, I do think it's weird. Hopefully Paul can get a job somewhere else.
I'm sure he will, especially with that record.
Yeah.
So, well, we're on to the big finish, and let's just sum out last week. Last week was not good for either of us.
No.
2-5. We both were 2-5. You beat me on the Jags. You took the Eagles.
Yep.
And I beat you on the Ravens because I took the Bills. And
Yep.
everything else, we were the same. We lost.
Yeah, we did bad.
So, not good. After last week, you said, and I quote, we do pretty good at picking these things, better than the average person. Well, not too well this season. In 20 games, our winning percentage is 45%. So, not good. Not good at all. So, anyway, All right, time for the big finish. Interesting slate of games I tried to pick this week, and here we go for Week 5 on Sunday. Packers, Giants.
This is a tough one. I really would like to go Giants here, but do I really want to go with the upset? It's also like I'm not really sure how much I like this Giants team yet either. And this when they're first playing, I should probably go Packers. I'll go Packers.
Daniel Jones is questionable right now. I'm going for the Packers as well. Browns, Chargers.
I'm gonna have to go Chargers here.
It looks like the weather should be good on Sunday, so I'm going to go with the Chargers, even though they're coming to the East Coast, excuse me. Patriots, Lions.
Lions, get their feet back underneath you.
Lions give up the most points in the league, but they score the most as well. The Patriots dominate the running game. That's the problem, because
They're opposite teams.
They are opposite teams. What am I going to do? This is a tough one for me.
Official NFC team of the pod.
I'm going to take the Patriots this week.
All right.
Taking the Patriots. Jets, Dolphins.
This is tough, because it all depends on Tua.
He's already ruled out for this week.
Who's the backup?
Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, I knew that because I watched him. Jets.
Taking the Jets as well. Cardinals, Eagles.
Eagles.
Eagles. Ravens, Bengals.
Ravens.
Ravens haven't won a home game all year. Bengals.
That's where it changes.
Okay, thank yous. Thank yous. You got some thank yous here?
Javonte Williams, you did pretty well for me in my fantasy league.
Not
and
anymore.
Happy trails, buddy, because
May we inquire who lost the fantasy league this week?
me. I did not do well.
Ooh, what was your punishment?
I'm not the biggest loser. My biggest loser was my gym teacher. So we haven't figured out.
Haven't figured out the punishment.
Yeah, no, not yet. So we'll have to talk. We usually one thinks of them. So like now we got to think of something new.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Javonte is like in my top. My favorite running backs in the league. Number 1 is Chubb, Big Nick Chubb, love Chubb. 2 is probably James Robinson. 3rd is probably DeAndre Swift. 4th is probably Javonte Williams, and now Javonte is out. So sadness ensues. I own a Christian McCaffrey shirt. I like Christian McCaffrey. He's probably 5th. So
Yep, but he's always injured. That's the problem.
yeah, that's the thing. He's always injured. And
So-
Burns is my favorite guy in the Panthers. I think everybody knows that. I'm a big Brian Burns guy. And then probably J.C. Horn after him. So and then probably after that, it's Ike Ekwonu. You know you're a real fan if you like the O-lineman. That's the truth.
This is true.
So yeah, thank you to Javonte. You did well. And I don't even know what else to say. Trying to think about any other thank yous I need to give out. I think we're good.
Okay. Well, I got a little update here on the old TV plugs here, but if you don't remember, a couple weeks ago, Ryan challenged me to find a new drama that's current, or a new TV show, I should say. It doesn't have to be a drama, before the end of the year. Well,
There's no way.
guess what? There's a premiere on Thursday. I will not reveal the show yet.
Okay.
And we will talk about it next week, and we'll see if I like it.
I won't even check my TV guide. I'll
That's
let it
good.
be a
Well,
secret.
you won't know because I didn't tell you what channel it's on, so you don't know what channel.
Well, I could check every channel.
You could check every channel. You can start guessing left and
It's
right.
probably one of the main 4. You're not watching
don't know.
CW.
I watch the CW. I watch All American.
That's the only show you watch on there.
You don't know what else I watch on there. I got things I can watch.
What are you watching?
Well, not This Old House because that's PBS. But anyway, This Old House is awesome. It's nice.
I find out it's like the series premiere of like Elmo's World's Part 8. It's like, Quinn, what are you
Did you
doing?
not like Sesame Street?
I love Sesame
Street.
Street.
Come
I actually
on.
love Sesame Street
Yes,
and
it's
Muppets
the
and
bomb.
Elmo's World. Elmo's World is a classic.
I mean, Sesame
theme
Street's
song's
the
banging.
bomb. Cookies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a good show.
Yes.
Who's your favorite on Sesame Street? Like, who's your favorite act?
Favorite act? Okay, I always like Bert and Ernie.
That's my favorite. Easy. Nothing comes
okay. Okay, but Cookie Monster. I mean, come on.
I like Cookie Monster too, but I also liked
I like Big
Telly.
Bird. Okay, actually, hold it. I can't say this. I can't forget this. I should stop it. The Count
The Count's
was
great.
one of my favorite because I used
yeah,
to sing songs.
yeah. When you go 1, 2,
Yes,
yeah, that was great
yes.
too.
Now, do you remember the Meatball song?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I told my friend McKenna that. So, do you remember the Meatball song? And she said, "No, I don't even remember the song." I said, "That was on Sesame Street. Why do you not remember that?"
My grandma owned like the 50th anniversary of Sesame Street DVD, and I think I've watched.
It's only in its 53rd season. I'm pretty sure.
What?
Pretty sure it's only in its 53rd season.
No, 50th anniversary, like the show. 50 years.
Yeah, I know. It's only in its 53rd. So that means she just bought it 3 years ago. She just decided to buy it.
They do one every year. Maybe it was 40.
It's 52 years, yeah.
Yeah, it must have been 40
It's going to be
then.
going into his 53rd
Because I
season.
got it when I was like the first grade. She got it.
I mean, Elmo's great, too. I mean, can we not say about...
Point is, it had like a collection of like all the big episodes, and I watched a lot of them, which then made it, because I watched them a lot when I was younger, that I randomly went through a period and I was like 12 or 13. I remember this so clearly.
Don't you remember the nostalgia and you have to go back and watch
Yeah,
them?
so
Yes.
it was Thanksgiving of like 20, I don't know. It was Thanksgiving probably about 10 years ago, probably 10 to 8 years ago. And, which put me about 12, if it was, no, it'd be a little older than that. I don't know how old I was. Point is, I was older than most people watch Sesame Street at, and it was Thanksgiving, and I was sick of the parade, and I flipped over to PBS, and Sesame Street was on, and it started like a year-long thing where I watched Sesame Street as like a 5th grader, and I was like, this is just a good show. So I just enjoyed my Sesame Street, and I never liked the girl who was the fairy. She annoyed me. But when I was younger, I did. When I got older, I was like, oh, no, she's annoying. But I really enjoyed Telly, and it really made me enjoy the show more when you watch it when you're older, and you're like, oh, this is still good. That's how good
Talking
it
about
is.
Abby Cadabby? Is that who
Yeah, I
you're
don't
talking
really like her
about?
that much. I think she's a little more
Are
for
you
the
okay
younger
with
kids.
Snuffleupagus?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
No, I was like, I was in like the 5th grade. I was watching Sesame Street just for kicks. I was like, this show slaps. I mean, they have a nice style where they open up, they got a little episode story, and then they do like a little song or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then they move into their 4 segments, and there can be 4 different things. Like one's with Elmo, one's with Grover, one's with
You got Big Bird.
Big Bird, one's with Telly, one's with somebody else. Like, just depending on the episode who's going to be with. But they would do like movie spoofs of Telly, and those were excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So that was fun.
Have you ever seen? I'm going to send you
I'm
this
actually,
clip.
like, a big Sesame
If you've
Street
never
fan.
seen this clip, I'm going to have to send it to you. It's between Kermit the Frog and Cookie Monster. Have you ever seen that?
I think I have, but you should send it to me just
I will send it to you.
Now, you
It's
like
about-
Muppets.
It's about an
You like
orange.
Muppets too, right?
Yeah, Muppets are fine.
Okay. You like Muppet movies, or are you more the show?
I've actually probably only really remember seeing a Muppet Christmas Carol.
Really? I watched like the whole series, like the Muppet movie, the Muppet Caper, Muppets in Manhattan, Muppets in Space, like all those. I've seen them all, baby. Muppet Treasure Island. You know, like Treasure Island was like one of my favorite books of all time. I've probably read that book more than any other book ever. I think I read it like once every summer when I was younger, sometimes like 3 and 4 times a summer, just because I thought best book
You
ever.
thought about it? Is it you think it's the best?
I just love that book. I don't know why. I thought about it the other day in my English class. I was like, this is the best book. I love that book. The book's so good. That book's exceptional.
See, I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah,
Muppets
Bert
are
and Ernie
fine.
are great.
Muppets are fine, but no, I was not more Muppets. I was more Sesame Street. That's me. So
I was both. I don't even know which one I'd pick. Probably now that I'm older, probably
Sesame
Muppets,
Street.
just because I watch the movies.
Sesame
But
Street.
Sesame Street's freaking good,
Sesame
dude.
Street. You can't beat Sesame
Might
Street.
have to watch some episodes. Peacock, right?
I'm pretty sure they. Might be HBO Max.
It might be HBO.
I am going to say. Did you watch Read Between the Lines?
What's that?
The 2 lions in the library, and they talk about reading.
No.
Oh, it might have been past your prime. I think it was 98 to 2006.
Oh, no.
But I'm
Not
sure
past
it's
my prime. It's
before
before
your
I'm
prime.
even born.
But it should have been. But I mean, it could have been still running reruns on PBS.
Yeah, I
Why don't you just
guess.
create your own?
Well, I'm just a nice guy like that.
That doesn't have to be anything.
But it's
to do with
also funny
nice.
because then my cousin will be like,
Yeah.
oh,
What do you
well,
want?
wait, you want to explain to the listeners what we're even speaking of so it's not just confusing when they see it?
Okay, so Ryan's logging into HBO Max. There are only 2 accounts, and he doesn't have one on there.
Yeah, because I borrow from my aunt and my cousin.
Yeah, and when he
but
could,
it's also funny
when he
because
could do his own profile if he wanted to.
they wouldn't care. It's just funny because then she'll text me sometimes and be like, did you watch Shazam? And I'm like, no, I thought you did. And then she gets like, wait, what? And I'm like, nah, it was totally me.
Look at you playing with her mind.
Yeah, it's funny.
That's not how you spell Sesame Street, bro.
Oh, I thought it was SES.
SES.
Ses. There it is.
Sesame Street Mega Builders. My Sesame Street
50th anniversary
It's a 50th anniversary
celebration.
collection. If you want to watch it, you can watch it. If you watch the 40th, might watch the 50th.
How many episodes are on here? Let's see.
I don't know, and I think they're random. Pretty sure they're random. This is season 1, episode 1.
Gordon introduces Sally to the Sesame. Okay, so they have season 1, 5, 7, 39, 40, 46, 40. So they have like a lot of the modern ones and then a
They
couple
have
handpicked.
So they have 46 through 50. Okay. Yeah,
Well, it looks like I know what I'm binging.
Elmo's great. You can't beat up Elmo.
Did you ever watch the one when Elmo goes to Grouchland? It was like a
I'm
little
sure
movie.
I've watched these.
It
I
was an
just don't
Elmo's
recall.
World like movie, and he goes to Oscar. He
Well-
goes in Oscar's. No, it was
Yeah.
yeah, and he goes in Oscar's trash can, and he ends up in Grouchland, and it scared the piss out of me. I'm serious. I was horrified. I was like, what is going on? This is terrible. I cried. I was young and I cried. I was like, Elmo needs to get out of there. He's with all the Grouches. They're evil. I was so upset. I never watched it again. To this day, I think about it and I'm terrified.
Poor Elmo.
I was so concerned for Elmo.
One. Anyway, I want to suck your blood. One.
The Count's
two,
great, dude.
Three.
The Count's great.
Yes, with the bats.
Oscar's
Count the
great
bats.
too, though. We shouldn't sleep on
Count the
Oscar.
bats.
It's like
That's
Oscar.
my dad's favorite.
Oscar, Bert and Ernie, and the Grouch are probably my top
my dad's
three,
favorite.
with an honorable
So-
mention to Telly, Big Bird, and I'm forgetting somebody important. Cookie Monster.
There you go.
I'm sorry, dude. I
Okay.
don't know what it is. Bert and Ernie, they're just my boys.
It's
I love Bert and
because
Ernie.
it's their camaraderie. But all right, guess what? We're running out of show. Too much Sesame Street here to close it out. We'll love you, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Bye bye. This is Quinn Maseko speaking for the Big Salad Podcast, a Ryan Klinger production. Please note that portions of this podcast were edited before the final cut was produced, and this episode was recorded on October 4th. The sections of What's the Word, Happy Time, and The Big Finish are copied from the ESPN show Pardon the Interruption, and there is no intention to infringe on the copyright of these segments and their related music. Stay tuned for our next podcast next Wednesday here on the Sort of Sports Podcast YouTube channel.